Okay. Let's see. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? I'm gonna turn on the stream volume real quick, as I often do, to make sure that my voice is coming through okay. So let's see. I'm gonna turn on the stream volume. Yeah, that's me. That you heard double voice there. That's me, and it sounds like the volume is fine on the mic. And I'm hoping the video game music is also fine. If it's too low, please let me know and I'll fix it. But I'm pretty sure this is the correct level. So, yes, hello everybody, it's your pal Minsk here, and we are now streaming Stories from Sol, the Gundog, the second part. Huzzah! Yes, I had such a good time playing this game last week that I couldn't help myself. Here I am again, so, you know, still gonna play it for a little bit at least. Yeah, I'm still not sure that I'm gonna play the whole game, because I'm really enjoying this thing, but wondering if, you know, I should save the full game for you folks at home to try out, then I don't know. But we'll see how it goes for now. For now, you know, we're just gonna enjoy another session of this delightful game. Today I have a couple of hours to spare. I can't go the 3 hours we did last time, I'm pretty sure. But I'll try to play this a couple hours here. For your guys' benefit. For your enjoyment. Yeah, you know, whether you are watching this live, or if you are watching the VOD later on the YouTubes, I appreciate you dropping by. Very good. Let's get into summary of Stories from Sol the Gundog. What is this game about, and what happened last time? Our hero is the security officer on this scout ship, the Gundog. A fellow by the name of, well, I gave the name of Sol Schutzhund. They are a veteran of the solar war between the Jovian and Martian colonies versus Earth, and they are the sole survivor of the final battle in Earth's orbit, owing to a embarrassing mechanical failure, which meant that they never actually deployed and saw live combat, and they've been haunted by that after their team got wrecked during that battle. And now they've been signed onto the Gundog as a security officer. It turns out that Sol's girlfriend Cassandra, or Cassie here, happens to be on the ship and pulled some strings to make sure that Sol shows up here on the ship. You know, she's being all very proper now because she's doing her job as the comms officer here on the bridge. So last time was just an orientation as we dicked around on the Gundog and we talked to the delightful cast of characters here. You know, there's the mechanic called Just Chief, we got the gunner, we got the aloof doctor, oh gosh, we'll get on, I can't remember them all. And we met the captain, what was her name again? Captain Bartermuse, yes, who explained our mission on this, trip that we're on. Why don't we really quickly redo this dialogue here so we'll get the idea of what we are doing on this expedition. Captain, when I received my posting to the Gundog, I was informed of my role, but I didn't receive the ship's briefing documents. If I may, what's the Gundog's objective? We've been alerted by another Swift-class patrol vessel, the O'Brien, about signals coming from the edge of our territory. The O'Brien is currently on a solo patrol in outer Jovian space, so we've been sent to provide backup or support as necessary. Of course, if something were to attack two Swifts, it's not as if they could put up much of a fight. Really, it's more that we're out there so that if anything does happen, at least one vessel will be able to get away to warn the colony fleet. I see. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Yes, ma'am. Forget what I just said. That's an order. Yes, ma'am. So there you go. That's why we're out here in space. I believe our current objective was, if we look over here, first of all, we got this delightful info thing. We can look up this lovely glossary of, like, millions of different terms here. Got a task here, so this is where we're going to figure out what to do. And in fact, look at this. We've already introduced ourselves to all the Gundog's crew, so well done. Now we got to go to the armory to pick up our sidearm, and we have now unlocked a, fast travel map here, so we can get on down really quickly to the armory. There it is. Okay. Small little design detail which could make this a little bit easier. Maybe like something like lit up to show like this is where you gotta go. Before I go there, one thing I do want to point out before, we go, that you might be curious from last time, since I said I checked this, is, there was a option when, at the beginning of the game, when we were going through the prologue, we picked our character's pronouns, which I picked they, them, because I was like, oh, that's interesting, haven't played a non-binary protagonist in a mech game like this, so let's go with that. And, we found out there were some cut-in graphics featuring our hero, and they happened to look quite androgynous. And I was like, I wonder if that's an informed thing from the pronouns I picked, because there really wasn't any other place where to, like, kind of pick, like, what your character is like. And I was like, if you pick the different pronouns, will you have different art? And I can confirm that that is correct. I went with she, her on a test run, off-screen. And I checked the couple of cut-in graphics we've had, which are when the protagonist gets surprise hugged by Cassie, and also that photo of Cassie and the protagonist on their first date. And yes, if you pick she, her, there is in fact a very female-presenting character there as the main character. In fact, I thought it was quite delightful. The female protagonist of this game looks a lot like Sayla from the original Mobile Suit Gundam, so I was like, oh, that's neat. Made me a little bit regretful of not going with the female protagonist, which is normally my choice when you can choose a protagonist, especially in a mech game. But, this time there was, the even rarer, they-them protagonist, so I was like, let's frickin' go with that instead. And, I think in that light, I think I did the right choice, but, I probably should have also checked what it looks like, if you pick the male protagonist, but I've already seen some, in the promos for this game, the cover art and, some, footage on Steam, I've seen that there is, in fact, a guy we haven't met yet who's a dude. So that's probably, I felt like, okay, I don't need to look that up to make sure that's probably what the male protagonist looks like. But, right, so, we could fast travel, and the game mentioned that if there is a event that hits you up on the way, you will, be interrupted, so technically we won't miss out on anything if we go there. I thought that for the sake of, authenticity, and just to see if anything comes up, I will just walk there. Oh, that's weird. Cassie came down with us out of the bridge. She should have stuck on the bridge doing her job, I think, but we can still talk to her, apparently? It's kind of funny now that I think about it. What is? This area is called the Central Hub, but to be honest, the only places you can get this straight away from here are the airlock, sickbay, or the bridge. Well, it's right in the middle of the ship, so it connects everything together via the two thoroughfares, right? Kind of, but if you want to get to engineering to do some mechanical work, you've got a long way to go that way. Then, if you want to do pretty much anything else, you've got to go the other way. The Foresight Thoroughfare is way more of a hub since you can get to all sorts of places really quickly. Get some snacks from the mess hall to take back to your quarters? Easy. If you want a quick soda whilst taking audit in the hangar, you're there and back in no time. They should move the bridge to the front of the ship. It sounds to me like you just want a vending machine on the bridge. Hey, that's not a bad idea. But still, it's a long way to get to the other end of the ship, no matter where you're going from. How would you solve that problem? Maybe change the shape of the ship so the center's really the center? It's space, so you could make it a really efficient shape like a cube or something. A cube? Well, I guess it could be efficient, but I don't think anyone would take a cube-shaped ship seriously. I think we had that dialogue already last time, but, why not quickly remind ourselves of Cassie's silliness there. Right. So, yeah. So, again, in the name of fidelity, I'm traveling on foot, and also to remind myself where all the places on the ship are. So, let's head on to the armory, where I'm anticipating an encounter. You know, we did... Hold on. We did see here that we've introduced ourselves to all of the Gundog's crew. But if you paid attention last time very carefully, there is one character we actually haven't met yet that we know is on this ship. It's the only other character that our protagonist has history with. And I'm very curious to see how that goes. So, we'll see. But yeah, let's hit up the armory then. I really thought we'd be interrupted on the way there, to be honest, so... You swipe your keycard through the card reader set into the terminal by the armory's door. There's a slight delay, but quickly enough the terminal flashes the message, "Access granted," and the door slides open. Ooh, okay, right, yeah, we actually, never got in here, so we didn't get to see this area last time. Cool. The first thing you notice about the armory is that the benches and lockers remind you of the changing rooms from the training center back at the military academy on Europa Colony. As you walk past them, you take a closer look and realize that they're the same kind of benches used on the larger ships you've been stationed on, the ones with sports facilities and changing rooms on board. Instead of sports clothing and equipment, these lockers are filled with a selection of combat gear, from body armor or electroshock weapons to a variety of small and light weapons. Still sticking with us, Cassie. Okay. Seriously, I really think she should have stuck around on the bridge to do her actual job, but... You know, I guess, what was the other? Vanessa was the spectacles lady? I guess she's got the job covered, so... I guess that's fine. You know, this is the first time I've ever actually been inside a ship's armory. That's not really surprising. It's only the security detail that would have access. Even in a situation where a ship's expecting to encounter a boarding party, it's security's responsibility to distribute weaponry to the crew in advance. It's to ensure there's no panic, and that crew don't get a hold of weaponry they're not trained to use. Huh. That's standard regulation. You should know that. Well... All I remember from my firearm training was when I dropped my electroshock weapon and accidentally zapped one of the other girls from operations. Okay, I'm actually surprised that they did provide firearm training, even to, like, the bridge crew, comms crew, but, I guess, yeah, it is a military ship, so I guess it makes sense. Checks out. Our trainer made me use a hand-cranked battery charger to recharge all the power packs as punishment. That must have taken forever. You bet! But you should have seen my gun show afterwards. Pew pew! Oh, Actually, I kind of would. Interesting. Which reminds me, the captain said I was authorized to collect my sidearm. I should get it whilst I'm here. I don't know if I need a sidearm with me if I got Cassie by my side with those guns. Ah, jeez. Okay. Right, so let's have a look-see in here. What we got in these cases? We got some kind of... Well, that actually looks like a 40k bolt pistol a little bit. That's curious. Seems a bit high caliber for a tiny little scout ship if you've got a semi-automatic grenade launcher, but sure. Can't make out what's in there. And here's, I guess, like, security suits? Oh no, these must be like spare environment. You know, why don't I just look at it? I'm just an idiot. I'm making guesses here when I could just click on it. The space suits in here are for the ship's security detail. Oh no, wait, hold on. Right, the dial. Sorry, I always forget. Like, when it's this font, it's our character talking, right? Right, sorry, my bad. That was screwing me up on this one. The space suits in here are for the ship's security detail. They're a little bit more robust than the suits handed out to the rest of the crew, for obvious reasons. But aside from that, they don't offer much of a tactical advantage. Okay? This locker contains electroshock weapons. They're non-lethal and intended to be used for crew control, in case of a mutiny or violence that breaks out for some other reason. Okay, that's the electroshock gear, and here's the big guns. This locker contains a variety of small arms and light weapons. They're only for use against external hostile forces. Even then, their stopping power is relatively low because of the dangers of using live rounds inside a ship. Yes, Alien Resurrection made a big point of this with the whole gun security thing there, you know. That titan of classic and informational science fiction, Alien Resurrection. I don't know, I don't hate that Alien. I've been on record that I have enjoyed practically all of the Alien properties. Even like the first Alien vs. Predator is still on the, you know, cusp there of like bad and good. Like I that's the one I've spent the most time thinking like, well, now how could I improve this? But I could still watch it. It's all right. Second AVP movie. That's the only one I'm like, yeah, that's not a very good Alien movie. Oh, I guess, well, actually, I should update that nowadays because I also saw Alien Covenant. Yeah, I don't know. It also had a couple of good things in it, but I think they were fewer than the couple of good things in Alien vs. Predator, so Alien Covenant kind of, I don't know. Maybe if I watched it again, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty neat, but kind of left me a bit disappointed. I am bucking the trend and thinking that Prometheus is pretty neat, though. Like, also quite a few problems with that movie. I've had these discussions, but overall, that one's just got cool vibes. That like the vibes of Prometheus sell it for me. So, I'm pretty okay with that one. Anyway, let's talk to Cassie real quick. So, have you ever got to use any firearms? Why do you ask? Well, I know you're security, but you never tell me about anything exciting. I always imagined you facing down bad guys with some scary pistol the size of my forearm, saying cool lines like, how many shots did I fire? I don't know myself, but the question is, do you feel lucky, bub? You've been watching way too many old movies. Yeah, I think a couple ones were mixed up there. Aww. Not even once. Most of my job has been dealing with crew members who get a bit tetchy after being cooped up on a ship for too long and start fights with each other. Even then, I just tend to break things up and talk them down. Most of the time, no one even ends up in the brig. You've got to have done something more exciting than that. Well... I knew you were an exciting action hero! Tell me! Oops, good, I didn't click past that. Thankfully, as we found out by accident last time, if you hit that mouse wheel, you can return to dialogue history here, so in case I missed it, you could do that. So this one time, a pilot found out that someone on the maintenance team had been trying to hit on his girlfriend. He got so mad that he got into his armored frame and used it to corner the guy in the hangar. No way! He was threatening to turn the guy into paste and had made a real mess of some cargo containers. Because the hangars are a low-gravity zone, I was able to make a jump from a gangway to the armored frame, and then overrode the cockpit access from the outside. The pilot was too focused on this engineer to notice me. Whoa! A frame jack! Did you use a cool line when the cockpit opened? Pick on someone your own size, or something like that? No way. I put 50,000 volts into the guy's shoulder the second I had a clear shot. Aw, come on! You're no fun! Very good. Okay, let's have a look what happens if I try to use one of these things. There's no reason to use those now. They're a real pain to put back as well. Accessing a weapon locker sends an automatic alert to the bridge. Even if I wanted to examine the weaponry, I wouldn't want to set off an alarm up there without telling anyone what I was doing. Yeah, that makes sense, you know. Gotta keep tabs on a tiny ship like that. Probably on a big ship, too. You want to keep tabs if someone goes and grabs a live fire gun, you know? Ooh, nice. We haven't had any big animations in a bit. This is the weapons locker with the electroshock weapons in. I'm authorized to take one small weapon from here as part of my role as security officer. This one will do. Ooh, you got an electroshock gun. Neat. That's actually kind of weird that the electroshock gun appears to have a revolver chamber. Alright. But I like the retro-futuristic aesthetic of it, so I'm fine with that. But, yeah, ooh, that's a little like... How heavy are the electroshock rounds this thing shoots? What's that? It's just my standard issue duty weapon for my role as security officer. It fires a barbed projectile that contains a miniature battery. It's non-lethal, but more than enough to stop someone in their tracks. I see. Eh? Absolutely not. Oh, come on! I see what we're talking about there. Yeah. Alright, now the question is, what do we do next? We got the gun, we don't have any assignments right now. Do we just walk around and act as a security guy on the ship? I don't know. But, yeah, let's step on out, I guess. And... Okay. Something's happening. I was like... Although it's just a little bit of dialogue for now, but we'll see where this goes. With Cassandra leading the way, the two of you leave the armory behind you and step into the aft thoroughfare. Cassandra pauses for a moment, looking left, then right, before turning back to face you with a smile on her face. Hey, ooh, I got an Achievo! Welcome aboard! Complete the tour of the ship! Oh yeah, nice. Well, that's it, Saul. Consider yourself officially acquainted with all there is to be acquainted with on board the one and only JFS Gundog. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I did. It's probably up there in my top 5 ship orientations. Top 5? Okay, you're right. Huh. Top 3. What? Maybe a triple shift to start your time aboard the Gundog is more to your taste. Well, that did happen to be on board the Thunderbolt. So if that didn't happen, I guess it'd definitely be my favorite orientation ever. What a coincidence! It looks like your schedule's clear until tomorrow morning. Whoa! Well, in that case, 5 stars. Great tour. Especially the guide. So, now that the tour is over, your duties don't formally begin until tomorrow. If you want, we can take another look at anywhere on the ship, or if you want to call it a day, that's cool too. I think let's call it a day. I was pretty dang thorough last time with exploration, so I think we'll just hit the sack. It was a long tour. It was like 3 hours long, you guys. Or, well, more like 2 hours, probably, because the first hour went with the orientation stuff at the beginning. No. I think that's enough for now. I should probably go over the mission logs before tomorrow and get an early night. I know the captain seems pretty, relaxed, but I don't want to make a habit of late starts. So responsible! I've got the late shift tonight, so maybe I'll get a nap in too. The two of you leave the aft thoroughfare behind as you both head back to your quarters. Cassandra being on board had been a huge surprise, but having spent this time with her, you found that all the anxiety you'd been feeling when you'd boarded has disappeared completely. You continue to chat casually about your schedules, the mission, and your plans for next shore leave. Okay, I'm quite surprised because you remember the other pilot guy. Like, I really thought we'd still have an encounter with him, you know, and there'd be like drama and stuff, so we've managed to dodge him for our entire first day on the Gundog. Alrighty. Eventually, you reach the Forsyth thoroughfare, and you turn down the corridor that leads to your quarters. Oh, let's see. Okay, let's see. This is still our chance. I thought we were already, like, done, but never mind. One more chance here on the corridor before we go in our room. Okay, I'll see you soon, then. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Okay. Well, well, well. Oh, I don't know what this guy looks like, dang it. I wish... Guy... Oh, what would be the voice for, like, rival character, dude? Like... Kind of a hotshot voice, right? Can I do a kind of hotshot voice for this dude? Let's find out. Yeah. I'm sure that it won't fit this guy at all. We'll see how it goes. Well, look who it is! The Kalike Coward! You don't even need to look beyond Cassandra to know who's standing at the entrance to the corridor. Although you'd recognize the mocking tone anywhere, the real giveaway is the nickname. One you'd thought you'd escaped a long time ago. Wow, okay. Kalike 3, Hansen. The only other survivor, huh? Man, he really did. Okay, I see what we're going for here. I mentioned that if you pick the she, her pronouns to get the female protagonist, you kind of look like Sayla. Boy, this guy looks a lot like a couple of Gundam protagonists. It's, takes from, Char, obviously, I think. But also kind of takes, from the rival guy in, Zeta Gundam, Jared, right? Both like the cocky blonde guys with the... Well, it's the popped open, like, bomber jacket, I think, is what's also doing it. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, I looked up this guy's last name. I was like, that sounds Welsh, and there's a Welsh guy making this game, so better check in case that is a word. I did find this word a couple of times online, and I found one pronunciation guide for it. It is from RuneScape, because there's a place name in RuneScape that uses this name, and I don't know if that's how reliable that is for pronunciation, but apparently you pronounce this last name Cruis. I was going with Crease, but it's something more like Cruis. Like the W is a bit of a U, actually, so Cruis. So I'm going to go with Hansen Cruis for now. I think my Welsh pronunciation's still pretty bad. Any Welsh viewers, let me know if I got anywhere close with that. By the way, I don't know how to do a Welsh accent. I have no idea. It would sound either Scottish or Irish if I tried to go for it, and neither of those also not very good either. I'm very stereotypical. So I guess we're going to go with the, kind of mocking voice instead. Hey, it's the future. This Welsh background guy could be from all over the world, Yeah. So we'll go with that. Hansen Cruis, or as you knew him, Kalike 3. Of the members of the Kalike squadron who'd taken part in the battle, he'd been the only one to return. I missed that in all the commotion, because a lot of people were getting crunked in that fight, obviously, so I completely missed that Kalike 3 actually wasn't among the casualties. Even then, that had only been after the ceasefire had been signed. A full 13 hours after he launched. Oh, so he'd been assumed MIA, I take it. Okay. From what you'd heard from other crew members, he'd survived by playing a game of cat and mouse with the enemy forces in a debris field. By shutting down the majority of his systems and hiding amongst the wreckage, he'd been able to launch surprise attacks, taking down his pursuers one by one. Interesting. So he also really filling in that Char archetype of he just is the ace pilot, right? Although it's a classic giant robot trope of the rival character who just is the natural talent compared to your pilot who's still kind of learning the ropes, or they're really far ahead and we're skilled. Like your character has the kind of natural talent, but they're really unrefined still is often the kind of way these plots go. So yeah, I'm feeling that. When he came back to the Kalike and saw your armored frame still suspended from its restraints, he had instantly blamed you for the squad being wiped out. If you'd taken off when you were supposed to, he argued, the squadron would have been at full strength, enough to survive the surprise attack. No amount of technical data or arguing that it had been physically impossible for you to launch would change his mind. Yeah, and also you can imagine, like, that's what, that's what Saul is beating themselves over as well about the whole thing, right? So, like, they've got major survivor's guilt, I'm sure, after what happened. So obviously, Hansen getting on their case is not helping with that, Like, it just sounds like affirmation, so that's brutal. The destruction of the Kalike squadron was on your hands. The worst bit was that you weren't entirely sure he was wrong. Yeah, exactly. It really haunts the player character here. Oh, nice, and the other pilot, Haru. By the way, last time I got a little bit screwed up. I was like, who was Haru again, in terms of crew members? Because I kept thinking that Dalton was the pilot, because he was inside the cockpit of the one armored frame. But no, Dalton's the junior engineer. That's why he was in the cockpit. He was fixing up the armored frame, the Juno. Haru's the other pilot, right? Which, by the way, you can tell because they've also got that sick bomber jacket. So, yeah. Anyway. What's up, Lieutenant Saul? You're not thinking of finishing your first day without meeting an old friend, right? When Haru came and told me that some lieutenant called Saul Schutzhund was our new security officer, I had to come and take a look. No way could it be that wimp from back on the Kalike. They had to have been dishonorably discharged for dereliction of duty. But I guess the JCF is so desperate that they'll hang on to anybody, no matter how much of a screw-up they are. How'd you end up here, Schutzhund? They decided you couldn't handle a full-size ship, so had to put you with the smallest crew they could find? You instinctively make your hands into fists, but unclench them quickly before Hansen notices. You haven't been stationed on the same ship as him since the Kalike, but you'd run into him a few times on board the colonies whilst you were both on shore leave. Each time had ended badly. Oh boy. Oh boy, okay, interesting choices. Say nothing, tell Hansen to stand down, or push back. Oh my god. I think we gotta be a little assertive here, but let's try to be the model officer for a bit. You almost lash out at Hansen, but stopped yourself before you do. Ooh, I love this kind of tension version of the main theme, by the way, playing right now. Very cool. The two of you are on this ship together, whether you like it or not, and the last thing you want is to let him know that he can get a rise out of you so easily. You fight the urge to just draw your electroshock weapon here and now. Yeah, that would be like, boy, that would be a very quick trip for our own security officer in the brig. It'd be easy to put an end to this that way, you think. But you know that in the long term, it'd probably be the worst decision you could make. Yeah, because, like, you'd just lose all your credibility with the whole crew, Instead, you grit your teeth. Stand down, Ensign. This kind of behavior's out of line. Oh, no! What are you gonna do, Lieutenant? Confine me to quarters? On what grounds? Hurting your feelings? Give me a break. Where was this spine 4 years ago, eh? You're happy to throw your weight around against your comrades, but not the enemy? See what I was saying, Haru? The lieutenant here's a coward, and has been since day one. Won't fight, won't even stand up for themselves. Oh no, we're looking bad in front of Haru. Oh. Damn it. I don't know. Hansen I don't have huge feelings for. Whatever. Might be an alright rival character, but Haru just looks really rad and just seems super cool. I don't want to look bad in front of Haru. Oh no. Ensign Cruis, you stop this right now. Lieutenant Schutzhund is... Can't stand up for yourself? So getting this ditz to do it for you, is it, Lieutenant? Cruis! You stop this right now and apologize, or I'll order Lieutenant Schutzhund to throw you into solitary and write you up myself. You're welcome to try, Lieutenant Commander. but I don't think your security officers got it in them to even try. You think you can take me on, Schutzhund? Oh my, okay. Ooh. What's the gamble here now? Show him you mean business. Like, oh, we would look really bad though, you know? Like, would it be in character, you know? Would it be in character to just finally, like, lose that? I feel like Saul is enough duty-oriented that they would fight through the boiling urge, right? Because this is the first day as a security officer here, so, you know. I think they'd go, just, like, try to, like, keep it, like, on this level. Would they go strong and silent, though? I don't know. I don't know. Ooh. So it's one of these two, but which one should I go with? I think we might actually just be a little bit silenced at this point. So let's take this first one. Doing the best you can to stop yourself from snapping at Hansen and giving him the reaction he wants. You cross both your arms and plant your feet firmly, shoulder width apart. You meet his eyes with a matter-of-fact stare, hoping he takes this to mean that you're not gonna stoop to his level. Nah, he's gonna play us like a fiddle for this. Oh man. Ooh, very scary, Lieutenant. Very tough. What? Hoping I'll put myself in the naughty corner, is it? Nice try. Hansen steps past Cassie and right up to you. With his face inches from yours, he places his right fist into his left hand and cracks his knuckles. Oh my god, okay. He's so close that you can feel his breath on your face as he sneers at you. What's the matter, Lieutenant? Nothing to say? Why don't you show me how tough you can be? Come on then, Lieutenant. What's it gonna be? You gonna show me who's boss on board this ship? You gonna make me obey that order? You wanna think long and hard about what you're gonna do, Lieutenant? Never know when you're gonna need a friend like me. I mean, we're all crewmates here, right? I'm not heartless. I'll even help losers like you out if you've done me a solid or two. So, maybe you should act like a professional for once. Or are you gonna do something stupid and show the Lieutenant Commander that you're just as much of a screw-up as she is? Oh, I see what he's doing. You can insult me all day you like, but not Cassie. That's so incredibly, that's bad guy points. Like, if he kept it between the two of us, you know, I'd get it. I would like still be, but like, just like, come on, like going after Cassie like that for no good reason. You take a deep breath and give him what he wants. Ooh. No, we gotta stand up to him though. But like, I don't know, like all of these are bad choices, right? This is like a encounter that can't go well, so. With Hansen's breath hot on your face, you do everything you can to not bat an eye at that last comment. But despite your best effort, your hands are clenched into fists. As much as you'd like to put 50,000 volts through him for insubordination and insulting a senior officer, you know that would be letting him win. Instead, you glare into the ensign's eyes for a few more seconds. You can almost feel Hansen's hatred for you radiating from him like an aura, and it takes all the bravado you can muster not to step down. The two of you stand like this for longer than you'd like, until... There's, by the way, like, electricity between eyeballs at this point. You know, the classic anime glare. Would you two knock it off already? Ugh! Huh. I'm on duty this evening, and I don't want to have to update the captain that both her new security officer and lead pilot are in the sickbay. All because their egos are too big to be on the same ship together. So both of you stand down. That's an order. Both you and Hansen are taken aback for a moment, like two school children who've been caught in a playground squabble. You turn from Cassie to Hansen and back, trying to come up with something to say. Similarly, Hansen's air of machismo has been dented by this surprise outburst. No, I don't want to hear it from either of you. You're both in the JCF, so maybe you should start acting like it. Ensign Cruis, I want you to report to the chief at 0400. You're helping her clean out the organic processing filters. As for you, Lieutenant Schutzhund, we'll discuss this later. Hey, you can't. Ensign! Piss off! Wow, okay. That's an order! For the first time since you've met him, Hansen looks lost for words. He stands there for a moment, mouth agape. Yeah. Lieutenant Commander, I hear you loud and clear. Hansen thrusts both his hands into his jacket pockets, turning on his heel and heading away towards the thoroughfare. He cocks his head, gesturing to Haru to follow him as he leaves. Before the pair are fully out of sight, he turns back to face the two of you. Good thing someone on this crew is able to keep everyone in line. Doesn't seem like our security officer's up to the task. With this parting shot fired, both Haru and Hansen disappear around a corner. You and Cassie stand there watching the space where they'd been. Cassie crosses her arms as she taps her foot furiously. What an absolute dick! I told you, he's a real... And you! What was that performance all about? I've told you about him. He doesn't back down. You've gotta... I know. But you can't let him get to you like that. Otherwise, he'll just keep coming time after time, until one of you does something they regret. You pause for a moment and feel your cheeks grow flush. You're suddenly filled with a sense of shame for being caught out acting so childishly. Darn it, I thought we played that about as professional as it could be. But, I guess... Hey, don't worry about it. I know what the two of you have been through, and, to be honest, I'd figured he was a real asshole from the moment I met him. Plus, he's gonna be busy helping the chief clean out those filters for the next month, so don't worry too much about running into him that much anytime soon. That's a bit of an awkward line there. Don't worry too much about running into him much. Repetition of the word much is a bit... Still feeling a bit sheepish about your behavior in front of Cassie, you manage a smirk. Thanks for stepping in there. I shouldn't have stooped to his level. Don't worry about it. Just take it easy and don't let what he said get to you. I'm gonna go get ready for my shift, so I'll see you soon. Sure, I guess I'll catch you in the morning. Sounds good. Oh, one more thing. What's that? Oh, sorry, that's my line. Whoopsie daisy, that's my line. What's that? Aw, cute! Cassie steps forward, places her hands on your waist, and stands on tiptoes, raising her face up to yours. You close your eyes and tilt your head slightly in response. At the moment that her lips meet yours, you forget everything that just happened. All you can focus on is the softness and delicate warmth. After a moment, Cassie slowly moves back, and you open your eyes to find her gazing at you contentedly. You both share the same gentle smile before she steps away. Sleep well, Saul! As Cassie walks away, she spins on her heels, gives you a quick wave, and then turns back, heading further down the corridor. As you step into your quarters and head over to your bunk, the door hisses shut behind you. You stand there for a moment with the smile still on your face, before you let out a sigh and sit down. Staring at nothing in particular, you mull over the day's events and Cassie's words from earlier. Big day ahead tomorrow, huh? You sigh. We'll see. Ooh, April 23rd, Planetary Calendar 214. 4 days have passed since the JFS Gundog departed on its mission to rendezvous with the JFS O'Brien. In that time, her crew, including Lieutenant Saul Schutzhund, have fallen into the easy rhythm of life aboard the ship. Alright. I kinda maybe would have liked a little bit of, first day on the job. I don't know what you could have done in a, simple, visual novel adventure like this. I'm not sure what you could have, done, but I would have liked, some kind of first day on the job wandering around stuff, so I don't know. Jumping ahead 4 days, Seems like a bit of a missed opportunity, but whatever. Even as the Gundog enters the outer limits of Jovian space and is due to meet the O'Brien, there is little for the crew to do, and a general sense of routine permeates the atmosphere. Outer Jovian space. Aboard the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. Hey, the break room. I love it. You're just finishing the last of your coffee as a shrill series of electronic pips begin sounding from your wristwatch. Without looking to check the time, you turn off the alarm and rise from your seat, knocking back the last of your drink once you've stood up, then taking the empty cup back to the food vendor. Hey, the cup disappeared from there, It's easy to lose track of time on board a military ship where the light is kept at a constant level, so you rely on a series of alarms you've programmed. You know that this one means your shift is due to start in a few minutes, giving you time to finish whatever you may be doing. You place the cup back into the vendor, where the machine latches onto it and then retracts it into a space that is quickly sealed by a sliding panel. As the sound of muffled whirring begins, you turn back to face the empty mess hall. Time to carry out the day's security checks then. Let's see. I need to stop by fire control, the hangar, and engineering to check that everything's going as it should. Alright, is there any new dialogue here? Standard food vendor unit installed in all JCF ships. Sold as a robotic chef, but if you're not feeling generous, it's just a fancy vending machine. Looks like it's got everything you could want except for hamburgers and pineapple salad. I don't know how Cassie did it, since we should have restocked when docking. Alright, there is some new dialogue. Yeah, because, Cassie's not here to talk now, so. An elusive combination of both red and white vending machines. The red ones are refrigerated, so they've got soda and things like chocolate in them, whilst the white ones aren't, but have bigger slots, so have big bags of chips or candy. Cool. I've just had breakfast, so it's a bit early for lunch. This thing does a surprisingly good plant protein, bacon, and eggs. I could try that, yeah. Let's see. Might be nice to find something for later. What should I do? Oh, nice, cool, we can get something else. Buy a chocolate bar. Let's see. A silent voice bar or a Doug and Krills? Ooh, do we get to pick? Okay, let's go with a silent voice. Nice! I would have picked that, because that is actually a Gundam reference. That is, that's the season 2, not season 2, but the, second theme song for Mobile Suit Double Zeta Gundam. I'm pretty sure that was called Silent Voice. Doug and Krills I don't recognize off the top of my head, but yeah. Well, I mean, this might not be on purpose reference, they just came up with this cool name. But in that case, by happenstance, it turns out that is a Gundam reference, so I love it. You got a silent voice. A bar of aerated milk chocolate, great on its own or dunked in a hot drink. It's also one of the favorites of a particular head of operations. Also, we got the gun. Electroshock gun. It uses non-lethal rounds to deliver 50,000 volts to the target. It's intended for use against the crew in case of violence that can't be de-escalated. We're good. We're not going to be shooting anybody with that. Yeah, no, you can't really use them in the environment, so, yeah. There's no one here right now. Aww, okay. So, yeah, our task list. Let's review that one more time. Visit engineering, visit fire control, visit the hangar. I think the order was fire control, hangar, engineering when Saul rattled them off a second ago there. Yeah, okay, whatever, yeah. So, but I think we're not quite an hour in, but I think I'll take the bio break here, everybody, now that it's a new day. So, yeah, let's just do a quick save here. And let's get on with our routine inspection day in just a bit. But I'm going to take a 5-minute break. Actually, I need to do a phone call here real quick, so it might be a bit longer than 5 minutes. I'm sorry about that. I'll try to be quick-like, but yeah, please, everybody, get up, stand up, and stretch. Get something to drink. Please use the facilities if you need. And I will see you in just a bit, okay? All right, bye. And we're finally back. Oh, I do apologize for that, everybody. Like I said, I had to take that phone call, and it went a wee bit longer than I had planned on. I tried to keep it short, but I couldn't. So, really sorry. That 10-minute break, I think, was closer to 20 minutes. Yikes. Ugh, okay. No worries. We will carry on with the final hour of today. Yeah, I'll play for like an hour, at least 45 minutes, half hour or something. We'll see where we end up on our delightful little day as day in the life of the Gundog. So, one more time to remind ourselves, now coming back from the break, we gotta visit engineering, visit fire control, visit the hangar, and well, I want to go in the order that Saul actually rattled them off. So it was fire control, hangar, and engineering, I'm pretty sure. And let's remind ourselves, fire control, I think, was the aft? No? No, it was, alright, it was one of the foresides, because the foresight had a bunch of places to go to, so let's hit up fire control, then we can hit up the hangar, then we can skip on down to the aft and visit engineering. And let's go on foot again, for that like delightful fidelity of, you know, walking around in the corridor. So the hangar's right here, actually. So yeah, fire control's in very close then. Let's pop in. You still feel a little bit awkward checking on fire control as part of a security report. Although Dylan is always friendly enough, you can't help but you feel like you're intruding on his personal sanctuary. It doesn't help that his headphones are so big that, short of shaking him, it's hard to get his attention. Well, here we go. Morning. What was my voice for Dylan? He was kind of a cool guy, right? Yeah. Morning, Lieutenant. How's it going? Oh, hey, Dylan. Everything all right? I thought you'd be listening to your music. You're a pretty punctual person, Lieutenant, so far you've come by here the exact same time every shift. All I had to do was find which albums would last until just before you got here, and now I don't need to get interrupted mid-jam. That's, pretty impressive. Aren't you gonna get bored of listening to the same albums every morning, though? Nah, don't worry about it. I figured out about 15 different album combinations, and that's not including changing the order of play, so I'm good for this mission. Speaking of the mission, you know the drill. Anything unusual? Nothing at all, Lieutenant. Not even a scrap of debris. I've been keeping an eye on the long-range targeting systems too, and we've had a blip, but the energy readings match the O'Brien, which makes sense. Yeah, I thought so. We're so deep in Jupiter's backyard that I don't think we'll be seeing anything at all, aside from the O'Brien. Pausing for a moment as you idly shift your focus from one screen to another, a flicker on one screen catches your attention. What was that? Lieutenant? The screen here, it just flickered. What do the readings say? That's a long-range targeting system. It's fed with data from the long-range communications system, which has been on the fritz recently. Chief's been working on it, trying to figure out where all the feedback's coming from. That's the kind of thing you should be filling me in on, Gunner Deese. If our targeting systems aren't operating properly, then I need to make sure the captain knows. My bad, Lieutenant. Since Chief said she was on the case, I figured it was all in hand. Well, let me know next time. That's it, though? Nothing else? Nothing at all. Alright. Keep it up, Gunner Deese. Yes, Lieutenant. Interesting. All good then, huh? All the other monitors look like they're working fine. Oh, right, this is, once again, our main character voice. My bad. All the other monitors look like they're working fine. And I'll have to ask the Chief about the long-range communications system. The targeting system is guided by these rollerball inputs. I didn't notice it the first time around, but it looks like someone's replaced one of them with an 8-ball. Okay. Oh, yeah, that does look like an 8-ball over there. That's kinda cute. All clear. Let's hope they stay that way. The targeting system isn't a toy. I should leave it alone. Now let's talk to Dylan real quick before we space out of here. What's going on, Lieutenant? I listened to that Trish and the Replicants album you lent me the other day. It was pretty good. Oh, hey, nice. If you're into it, I've got a few other albums I can lend you. Ever heard of Firebombing? Ooh, that's now we got a Macross reference here, right? Macross 7, Firebomber. The band that, oh my god, what's his name? It's not Hikaru. Hikaru's the guy in, the original Macross. What's the main character in Macross 7? Wow, I should remember that. That's embarrassing that I completely blanked on that. Oh, Basara. Yeah, Neki Basara. Wow. That took me a little bit too long, but whatever. I was wondering if you had something a bit less rock? What were you thinking? Well, I really liked the Lin Minimay song they were always playing back on Europa before we left. Holy moly, really? Speaking of freaking Macross references, sticking them in, like Lin Minmay is the original songstress from Macross. That's crazy. Do you have anything like that? Lin Minimay? That overproduced twee stuff? Come on, Lieutenant. Next you'll be telling me you want to listen to the whole album of Princess Maria ballads or something. Ooh, I'm not sure which one that would be a reference to. There's a lot of Maria-named characters in anime. I'm not sure. If someone knows what this is a reference to, please do let me know. I mean... No way, Lieutenant! Come on! You're listening to Firebombing next, and that's it. Alright, okay. Leave the tape with me next time you pass by my quarters. Princess Maria. Who can have a taste in music like that? Well, now I feel a little bit embarrassed, but alright. Good talk, Dylan. Let's hit up that hangar next. Also something going on down here. Alright, the hangar. Let's see. Although you take the first few stairs normally, by the time you reach the hangar entrance, you're skipping almost every step. Oh yeah, because reduced gravity. Gliding through the door onto the catwalk, you grab the railing and heave yourself over it. As you continue to float lazily through the wide open space of the hangar, you start your visual checks. Walkways clear, access points marked, munitions stowed. All the equipment and supplies seem to be where they should be. You casually shift your weight to one side of your body, causing you to begin spinning slowly. As you rotate, the glare from the hangar lights... the glare from the hangar lights reflects off an armored frame's camera lens, almost as if it was watching you. Quickly dismissing the thought, you turn your attention back to your duties. Eventually, you arrive at the other end of the hangar, where you plant your feet on the thick steel of the main door. From this angle, you can take in everything that you may have missed, including Dalton, who you can see in amongst the storage units, his attention fixed intently on a collection of parts in front of him. Cadet Dalton, attention! The junior engineer suddenly snaps to attention the second he hears your call, inadvertently launching the pair of pliers he was holding out into the open space of the hangar. It was like holding out into the open space of the hangar, but I read it, sorry. Without gravity to stop them, they continue to sail through the air. That's a spelling mistake, though. Though the air? No. Oh, I forgot how cute Dalton is. I love this goof. At ease, cadet. You time your launch from the door exactly to allow yourself to grab the pliers as you float over to the startled cadet. Aw yeah, getting to look cool. I believe these are yours, cadet. Oh, Lieutenant! Thank you! I didn't realize you were... Relax, Dalton. I'm just doing my rounds. I'm not here to check up on you. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Is there anything I can help you with? Just the usual. Everything okay in here? You haven't noticed any mechanical failures? Everything working how it should? Any suspicious activity? Nothing to report, Lieutenant. I've just been working on my project. Ever since Lieutenant Commander Quinn assigned Ensign Cruis to the filter cleaning, it's given me a bit of extra time to finish things up. Oh yeah? That's your high-density foam that sets rock hard, right? How's that going? That's right. It's good. It's good. I'm hoping to get the chance to test it soon. These containers are full of the compound. I'm just about to try transferring it into some empty training rounds. You know, the ones normally filled with paint. The ones that the armored frame pilots use in practice combat to show when they've hit each other? Uh-huh. The compound's stored under pressure where it remains liquid. When removed from that pressure, it expands quickly, and with the rapid expansion, it sets. If I've got this right, then we can test it by firing the practice rounds at dummy targets. When the casing is destroyed, the compound should activate. Good news. Well, if there's nothing I need to know, I'll head out. Let me know if you see anything out of place. Yes, Lieutenant, I will. Although, I was wondering... What's up, Cadet? It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Oh, he looks so forlorn. If you're sure, Cadet. Well, that's mysterious. I wonder what that's all about. Anyway, let's have a look-see in here. 2 Juno model armored frames. Remarkable for being totally unremarkable. These two have some slight differences to the ones that were around during the war, but they're basically the same machine. I believe the idea was that they get chunked out from the bottom here, they open up the thing and they drop out into space. Was that how it worked here? There was no, chucking them out of this door? I think I have this memory from last time. I don't know. If there was a problem with this, it'd show up on the diagnostics that are fed through the bridge. All I need to do is a quick visual check. Everything looks fine. Tools, equipment, and supplies. Chief keeps a close eye that everything's stowed properly, and Dalton works to her high standards. I can't see anything wrong with it right now. Everything looks in order. Some of these containers hold the compound that Dalton's been working on, but he keeps his work environment so tidy, I wouldn't be able to tell you which. Alright, is there anything we can use here? Dalton puts a lot of work into keeping the hangar in order. I don't want to make his life harder by messing around with the storage crates. There's a lot of tools and equipment here, but nothing I need. The controls for the hangar door look in order. It always seemed a bit strange that the main door could be opened just by pressing a button and pushing a lever. I'll have to make sure never to point that out to Cassie. She wouldn't be able to resist finding out if it really is that easy. Ooh, that's a scary thought. Also, by the way, they're so setting up that we're going to have to use that compound at some point, you know, with the paint gun rounds. We'll see how it goes. This model of Juno has a simulation mode installed into the main computer. If I wanted to, I could spend some time in there and... who am I kidding? Wow, that's a bit, rough, but sure. Dalton, let's have a quick chat before I head off. Dalton, what were... Ah! Slow down, Cadet. It's me. Oh, sorry, Lieutenant. I didn't realize you were still here. Don't worry about it. Anyway, you've got something on your mind. What were you going to ask? Oh, it's nothing, Lieutenant. Don't worry about me. Come on, Dalton. It's not exactly like I'm rushed off my feet doing the security rounds. What's up? Well, if you're sure. The Chief sent a message that she wants me to head over to engineering to carry out a job. But I'm right at a critical part of the process to decant the compound into the training rounds. If I stop now, I'll have to stow all my equipment, so I'll be late anyway, and then I won't have any time, and then it'll be... Okay, slow down. What do you need me to do? Oh, sorry, well, I just need a bit more time. Chief's got something she wants me to do, but if I stop now, I don't know when I'll get another chance. Is there any way you could cover for me? Oh, interesting. Hey, that's actual choice. Interesting. I wonder what this changes, you know? Well, I was just saying, like, we're just gonna have that thing where we gotta use those rounds. Well, maybe we won't if, like, we don't help out Dalton. But I can't say no to this guy. I love Dalton, so we gotta help the poor guy out. Say no more. I'll take care of it. I mean, are you sure, Lieutenant? Don't even worry about it. If it's something I can help with, then I'll lend a hand. If I can't, well, I'll cover for you. Don't sweat it. Thank you, Lieutenant. With the extra time, I should be able to get these rounds ready for testing before the next AF drills. Thank you. No problem. Now get back to it. If the Chief thinks you've slacked off for nothing, then you'll know about it. Thank you, Lieutenant. I'll get right on it. Can we still talk to him? See what he's got to say? Oh, Lieutenant. Oh, thanks for helping out with the Chief. I should be able to finish these rounds before the next drills are due at this rate. Good talk. Let's go to the... We were going to engineering anyway, so this turned out very lucky. Oh, no, let's not go there. Again, I just like the RP of sashaying through here. Nobody to talk to. Alright. Aft thoroughfare. Could drop by the armory if he wanted to, but no, let's just go engineering. Lieutenant Saul Schutzhund entering main engineering. Ooh, okay, I bet the Chief wants us to be very exacting with how we show up here. You declare to the cavernous expanse of machinery and access ways that makes up the engineering section. You'd been instructed to announce your arrival by the Chief, and since the last time you didn't, she'd nearly dropped a filtration unit on you to prove a point, you made sure not to forget. Yeah, I could immediately guess that this is because the Chief told us to, right? Access ways clear, no visible detritus, nothing seems to be malfunctioning. Oh, excuse me everybody, just a second. It's getting a bit dark here, I had to put the lights on in my room. Sorry about that everybody. You stop midway through your visual checks. And no one's throwing heavy machinery off to higher levels to teach me a lesson in proper conduct. It doesn't take long for you to finish your daily checklist. The Chief runs such a tight ship that you don't really expect anything less. Now that you think about it, though, she hasn't given you your daily grilling about how insulting it is that you think these daily checks are necessary in the first place. Ooh, that's getting a little bit unnecessarily, a little cocky even from the Chief. Chief? You here? Up here, Lieutenant. Chief? Are you around? Damn it, Lieutenant, I'm up here! That's weird. It's not like the Chief to not be at her assigned duty station. I'll have to tell the captain. Damn it, Lieutenant, I'm up here! Look up, you idiot! Looking up, you see the Chief Engineer leaning dangerously across the safety rail of a walkway a few levels above you. Behind her is a massive cabling that's pouring out of an open panel above her. Oh, Chief, good morning. Good morning yourself. I've been calling back to you this whole time. You forget to clean out your ears or something? Sorry, Chief, it's pretty loud in here. Nothing in here is running above a safe decibel limit, and if you tell me otherwise, I'll come down there and recalibrate your ears. You quickly mentally calculate the time it would take for her to get down to where you are, and the time you'd need to get out of engineering. Although you fancy your chances, you wouldn't bet money, or your ears, on it. Must be me, then. Anyway, I'm just filling out the daily report, Chief. What's going on up there? Ugh, one of those clowns at the colony dock who took part in the maintenance process must have done something stupid to the long-range communication system. For the past 12 hours, we've been picking up huge amounts of feedback. They must have made a bad connection, but I can't find it in all this shoddy wiring. Huh. That must be the system that Dylan was talking about. Are you sure there's nothing out here that could be sending a signal? A broadcast from the O'Brien? One of our reconnaissance satellites? No chance. This feedback is way too intense. Even a standard broadcast shouldn't produce this much noise. Unless, maybe they calibrated the long-range system on the shortwave bands. In that case, the sensitivity would be off, so it would... Chief? Eh? Oh, yeah. Like I was saying, there's nothing around here that should be kicking out a signal with this kind of capacity. It's like it's picking up something with an amplitude and frequency 10 times higher than our standard equipment. Uh-huh. Which could be the result of a processor loop. Maybe I should check out the initial conversion driver next. Okay, well in that case, Chief, I'm gonna let the captain know, okay? Eh? I'll put that in my report for the captain, alright? Oh, yeah, sure. I was gonna let her know when I'd fixed it, but those dolts have done a real number on this, so it's gonna be longer than I thought. Alright, thanks for the heads up. Alright, that's all of the routine checks carried out. Time to report to the captain. Well, we could, but let's quickly get a feel for this room as well. Through that door is the ship's engine room, and lots of headache-inducing explanations about distortion drives and fields, and ugh. This is the part of the life support system that analyzes conditions throughout the ship and adjusts its output to support an optimum environment. The Chief gave me a whole lecture about it yesterday. I don't think we need that again, so... The power distribution module. This device sends energy from the engines out to the rest of the ship's systems. The central computer room, the mainframe for all the ship's terminals, is in there, but it can only be accessed with authority from the captain. Which we cannot do. Let's not go into the engine room. Yeah, sure. Hey, Chief, I'm just gonna start playing around with the calibrations that ensure breathable air. Don't mind me. Why not? The power distribution module. This device sends energy from the engines out to the rest of the ship's systems. That's the same dialogue for the use as the look. That's kind of odd. We can't go there, I don't think, so let's not. Anyway, let's talk to Chief before we head off. Oh, Chief, one more thing. Oh, Columboing it in here. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Dalton. Yeah. Huh? Are the issues with the long-range communication system going to interfere with standard maintenance? Do I need to follow up with operations to get you some support? Depends how badly those idiots back at Europa have fouled things up. Normally, something like this should be a quick wiring fix, but I can't trace back the fault. Ugh. Although maybe the problem isn't with the wiring around the receiver, they could have crossed wires on the broadcast hardware. Yes or no, Chief? No, today's scheduled maintenance is pretty light, so Dalton should be able to take care of it. He's not scheduled to report to me until later, though. When you go to the hangar, tell him to pack up his project and get over here on the double, you hear? Actually, Chief, now that you mention it, good, I was worried what the syntax here was going to be, because I don't want to fail Dalton. Dalton said he's a little busy with his project at the moment, and that stopping would throw the whole thing off. So I said I'd cover for some of the maintenance tasks. Oh, he did, huh? Yeah, let's see how Chief takes this. It is, on the other hand, it is, Dalton skipping out on his duties a little bit, though. Yes, Chief. And you said you'd cover? Yes, Chief, that's right. As the silence between you and the Chief drags on, you begin to regret offering to do Dalton a favor. Now that you think about it, what exactly do you know about maintenance? Not only is the Chief going to give Dalton grief for passing off his workload, you're going to get it in the neck for... Well, if he says he's at an important stage in his work, I'm not gonna drag him away. Oh wow, surprised reasonable, Chief. I appreciate that. Kid's been slaving over that project night and day. Gotta admire his love for the craft. You let yourself relax. Thankfully, it looks like the Chief's got something of a soft side after all. I'll be able to pick things up here, but I've got one of his jobs that you can do for me. What do you need? The Chief turns away from you and squats down, rummaging around in her tool pack for something. The batteries in the emergency spacesuit radio packs in the airlock are due for replacement. Take these and switch them out for the old ones, okay? She casually tosses 2 battery packs towards you, which you just about catch, surprised by their heft. No, batteries are heavy, you know? Especially if they're like big old car battery looking things. You got the charged batteries. Roger that, Chief. Once you've got the old ones, bring them back here and plug them into the power distribution module. After that, you're free to go. Swap out the batteries in the emergency spacesuits in the airlock, and then bring the old ones back here to recharge. Simple. That's so simple I can do that, actually. Yeah, let's go. I can remember that task. Lieutenant, have you sorted out those batteries yet? No, not yet. Then what are you hanging around for? I didn't let you help so you can waste my time. Get those batteries changed or I'll have you and Dalton scrubbing the biofilters. Yes, Chief. Yeah, let's not play around after that, eh? Alright, airlock. Central hub. No surprise cutscenes yet. And airlock. No one to talk to here. No surprises on that front. Behind this panel is the manual control for the airlock hatch. It's incredibly tough to use and is only there in case of complete system failure. Even in the event of a power disruption, the airlock has a backup system to control it. This terminal has control over the airlock in addition to all of the normal features. On top of that, it's also Cassie's favorite stargazing spot. Yeah, I remember that. We could take a look at the sky. Look at the space from there. Yeah. The airlock, used mainly for crew to board or disembark. Anything much bigger usually gets brought in through the hangar. These are the spacesuits the Chief was talking about. They're here in case a crew member isn't able to access the ones at their normal station. Now I'm supposed to swap out the batteries in the radio packs. Okie dokie, let's see, can I use any of these? This panel gives access... Oh, that's the same dialogue for the use again, that's odd. This is the terminal that Cassie uses to access the external camera feed and view the stars. Should I take a look? Let's take a quick look. Let's see what's going on in space today. Wonder if I'm seeing the same stars every time. It's kind of hard to tell one part of space from the other when there's nothing out there. Yeah. Nice and secure. I guess I can cross that off the secondary checks whilst I'm here. Alright, let's see. The Chief said it was the batteries in the suit radios that needed changing. Firmly grabbing the locking mechanism's handle on the suit's container, you twist it 90 degrees clockwise and then pull. The door offers more resistance than you'd expected, but once fully open, it remains in place. Thought I had to hit the item to use the item, but okay. Reaching inside the container, you hold your left hand against the suit's rigid breast panel and grab the large black block of plastic that protrudes from the panel's left side. Interesting cadence here. Bit of alliteration there. Black block protrudes from the panel. That's why it stuck out to me. With a tug, the block pulls away, trailing a curling cable that keeps it connected to the suit. As you pull it away from the suit, you flip the radio over to examine it. The bottom half of the device consists of a pistol grip with a secondary microphone and speaker, allowing it to be used separately from the suit. Your thumb rests comfortably on the push-to-talk button. The top half of the unit's underside is a backlit LCD screen, showing the current frequency it's tuned to and battery level. Below the screen sit a few ambiguous buttons. To its side is a dial for tuning and a power switch. Whilst this unit holds the main workings of the radio's receiver and transceiver, the wire that still anchors it to the suit connects it to the small microphone and speaker inside the helmet. Flipping the whole unit around to look at its underside, you see a small latch set into a recess which you pull down on with your thumb, releasing the cover and letting the old battery slide out into your palm. Old battery out, you murmur to yourself as you take it in your spare hand, before sliding it into the opposite pocket from the fresh batteries. You got the depleted batteries. And now to put in the new batteries. Okay, we gotta go to item and hit that charged battery. Ooh, you could screw up and accidentally hit the depleted batteries. Maybe, I don't know. There we go. New battery in. With the battery replaced, you reattach the compartment cover, which snaps back into place. Once you set the radio onto its mount on the suit's breast panel, you step back, close the suit's container's door, and twist the locking mechanism 90 degrees counterclockwise. With one down, you move to the other storage unit and repeat the process of unlocking the container, taking the suit's radio, swapping out the batteries, and then replacing everything as you found it. Great, all done. Let's go get these back in charging and engineering. Cool. This is nice. Now we're actually getting a little bit of like video gamey, not just walking around and talking, like a little bit of that adventure game action. And a little bit of choices, too. Like, I guess we could have not done this if we, wanted to, or, I don't know, maybe, like, the game would have forced us, but I get the feeling that, like, this was, in fact, a thing, that was a choice for us. Alright, do I just hit this? Here we go. Alright, here we go. And then we hit up item. Okay, I see the interaction here. Depleted batteries. Let's charge them up. You take each battery that you'd removed from the suit's radio and place them in the charging ports on the side of the power distribution module, the PDM, if you will. They slide in and lock into place with a satisfying clunk, and a red light right above the port lights up with an amber glow. Great, a job well done. We got an Achievo extra credit for helping Dalton. Yay. Let's talk to Chief real quick to confirm that everything's good. Lieutenant, have you sorted out those batteries yet? Yes, Chief. All sorted. Good. You're not as useless as you look, Lieutenant. Keep it up. Thanks, Chief. I guess? Yeah, that was a bit backhanded, that compliment. Oops, no, wait, we can't go there. Sorry, this is actually new dialogue. Whoopsie daisy. I meant to hit that we go back in the thoroughfare, but I'm accidentally going inside the computer. Let's read this, because this is new dialogue, apparently. You make your way through engineering, carrying out all your standard checks. Although it's unlikely that there's much in engineering that you would consider a threat to the ship when it's running well, you still have to check the less exciting things, ensuring that access points are clear, security cameras are working, and so on. As you pass by the sealed door of the central computer's room, you pause for a moment. None of the ships you'd previously served on had a computer system set up like this, so you're unsure what to do about not being allowed to access such a vital function as part of your checks. You idle for a moment by the door. Although normally you'd be responsible for clearing every area of the ship, Cassie had already explained to you that access was strictly limited to the operations department, or the captain. You mull this over, then shrug. If they wanted you to check it, you'd be able to access it. Alright, should we go in the engines real quick if that's part of our engineering inspection? Apparently not, nothing procced from that, so alright. Thought I'd stop by real quick, but yeah, aft thoroughfare, and I think we're gonna drop by Dalton real quick too, just to let him know that everything's in order, And then we're gonna go report to the captain. So, as you re-enter the hangar and pause for a moment by the railings, you can see Dalton in the center of the area next to a wide-open container. The container itself is crammed full of interconnecting pipes, tanks, and various other bits and pieces of inscrutable technology. You watch as he adjusts some valves and then retrieves a cylindrical object, the size of a thermos, from a recess in the device. As he holds it up to the light, you catch his eye. He excitedly turns to face you and immediately launches himself at you. Okay. Lieutenant! Great timing! Look at this! Whoa, slow down there, cadet. You grab hold of his sleeve to stop him from sailing past you and crashing into the wall by the entrance. Bracing yourself on the railing, you counteract his momentum and bring him down onto the catwalk. Good news? Great news! Check this out! Dalton proudly presents the object he'd been inspecting earlier. That's a big old shell, I'm a little worried. Although at first glance it looks like a standard 40mm round from one of the Juno's machine guns, the plastic casing gives it away as a training round that would typically be filled with paint. This feels a lot heavier than normal, though, suggesting different contents. Oh, hey, good job. You did it, huh? Well, that's right. I've got the pressure right and figured out the volume of sealant for each round. I even managed to get the training rounds to seal properly afterwards, so there's no risk of spillage. A round like this should be able to immobilize any joint on an armored frame with ease. That's great to hear, Cadet. Well done. Thank you, Lieutenant. I couldn't have got it done so quickly without your help. Oh, was everything okay with the Chief? Did she mind? What has she asked you to do? Nothing major, just had to swap some batteries out on the emergency spacesuits. Even a security officer like me can handle that. That's all? That's all. She genuinely seemed like she thought it'd be best to carry on with your project. That doesn't sound like the Chief. Hey, come on. I'm sure she can be alright. Sometimes. I'm sure she was going light on us because she knew what you were doing was important. Or maybe she's just saving all my jobs from today for tomorrow's shift and will want me to work double time. Easy there, Cadet. I don't think she's that bad. Maybe. Don't sweat it, Dalton. It'll be fine. You did well today, anyway. Now finish up producing all the rounds we'll need for the testing, and then get this hangar shipshape. You know the Chief likes it clear. Yes, Lieutenant! Alright, well, I should go and give my report. Take it easy, Cadet. Yes, Lieutenant! Oh, Lieutenant? Cadet? Thanks again! I don't know when I'd have got a proper chance to do this without your help. Anytime, Cadet. Aw, we made Dalton happy. I appreciate that. He's such a nice guy. Alright, let's go to the captain, finally, and then let's see if we get some kind of ding on our mark for taking too long to report because of us having to do the extra work there for Dalton. We'll see. I've completed the security report for today. Should I go up and give it to the captain, or should I take another look around in case I've missed anything? I think we've done everything, right? I think we're good. I guess I could go talk to, like, I don't know, the doctor or something. Like maybe I missed something. I didn't do rounds in every single place. I didn't, so, you know. I don't know. Well, we did extra work helping out Dalton, so, you know, I feel good about that. Alright then, no sense in delaying seeing Captain Bartermuse. Hey, all in a day's work was the achievement. Complete security report. Lieutenant Saul Schutzhund entering the bridge. You declare, stepping from the elevator and throwing a salute. Looking around the room, you see Vanessa, who remains focused at her station, not paying you the slightest bit of attention, and Cassie, who stands from her station and comes over to you, a wide smile on her face. Oh, but she's supposed to act all professional while she's here. Ooh. As you remain at attention, you notice that the captain's chair is empty. Oh, okay. That's why Cassie's being chill, too, right? Yeah. At ease, Lieutenant. Captain Bartermuse isn't with us, so I'm in charge of you today. A small tut comes from Vanessa. If Cassie heard it, she doesn't show it. Oh, is that right? I've come to make my report. That's right. Dr. Rosarium advised me that she'd suddenly taken ill. Ooh, wait a second. Vanessa makes another louder tutting noise. Cassie pauses for a split second, but quickly carries on. Yeah, that seems like those things you're not supposed to, like, just spill. Although, I guess with the captain it's serious. I don't know. So, he's ordered her to quarters for some bed rest. We're due to enter communications range with the O'Brien any moment now, and from there it's just a matter of coordinating our patrol paths. Nothing I can't handle. Ahem. Oh, right. The security report, Lieutenant. Oh, yeah, of course. You clear your throat, feeling a bit awkward. Although you'd been on the ship together for the past few days, you'd mainly seen each other between shifts where rank didn't really mean much. Cassie acting seriously didn't really seem like Cassie at all. Security report for April 23rd, PC-214. No breaches or hazards to report, ma'am. No sign of immediate threats or security risks to the ship herself, and all shipboard operations proceeding as expected with little likelihood of disruption. Nothing? Well, the Chief has run into some feedback issues on the long-range communications system that are impacting the visuals on the long-range targeting system. It doesn't seem to be enough to stop normal operations, though, and she's in the process of isolating the problem area to start repairs. Cadet Grange has also completed the system to load the high-density foam he's developed into training rounds for the Juno's weapons. He's scheduled to have produced enough rounds for the tests in time for the next training exercises. Oh, that's great! Good for him! But that's about it. Business as usual. Here's my written report. You reach into your jacket pocket and take hold of the written copy of your morning report, as well as the completed checklist. At the same time, you subtly shift the chocolate bar underneath the pad of paper and, holding on to both, pull them out to present them to Cassie, the silent voice obscured by the documents. I was going to see if I could hand that to her anyway, so I'm glad that came up here, you know. Very nice. Thank you, Lieutenant. I'll... Taking both off you, Cassie quickly realizes there's something in addition to the report, and spots the chocolate bar underneath. Hey, Achivo again, Sweet Tooth. Give Cassandra a chocolate bar. Oh! Well, Lieutenant Schutzhund, it looks like you're continuing to perform above and beyond. Tell me, though, do you have any experience with the Standard Communications Array? You pause for a moment, unsure at what Cassie is getting at. Everyone in the JCF has at least rudimentary knowledge of how to work a ship's communications array. Yes, ma'am. I've had the necessary training to operate the comm system aboard any JCF vessel. Great! Since Captain Bartermuse is ill, Vanessa and I are both pulling double shifts to make sure there's cover on the bridge. It'll just be me on the night shift tonight. You won't mind helping me out by lending me a hand? Okay, something sneaky we're planning. Oh yeah, Vanessa's not a fan of this breach of protocol. Ahem! As Cassie turns away with the documents in hand, she glances across to the display screen showing the time. Vanessa, have we heard anything from the O'Brien? We're beyond the scheduled meetup window. Are we picking them up on sensors? There's nothing on sensors, Lieutenant Commander. Not that this interference is making things easy. Oh boy, I'm sure there's no reason for paranoia about the fate of the O'Brien, not in this giant robot adventure. I'll try scanning on different frequency bands in case the O'Brien is having the same issue. Vanessa begins to flip switches and twist dials, filling the quietness of the bridge with a series of noises that range from annoying buzzes to painfully shrill screeches. After a few moments, a communication window on the main screen illuminates and a slightly distorted voice speaks. Oh, wow, hey, what? Really? Oh, cool! Hey, never mind, I was worried about nothing. Do you read? We are at the rendezvous area and have a mission update. Please acknowledge. I repeat, this is Lieutenant Bashir of the JFS O'Brien. JFS Gundog, do you read? We are at the rendezvous area and have a mission update. Please acknowledge. With Lieutenant Bashir from the O'Brien relatively clear on the communication window, Cassandra hastily grabs a microphone. Roger that, JFS O'Brien. This is Lieutenant Commander Quinn from the JFS Gundog. We're picking up your signal and have arrived at the rendezvous area. Please transmit your precise coordinates. Over.
We read you. That's a sweet voice you've got there, Gundog. I'm transmitting coordinates and mission update files now. It's good to finally...
Lieutenant Bashir? Do you read? Vanessa? Are you still getting a signal from the... Oh, whoa. The comms are being overloaded. There's a powerful signal coming in on all band and it's... Gah! Oh. What the hell just happened?
Is everyone okay? Commander Quinn?
Oh, that's kind of neat. She is the commander at the moment, so... Yeah.
Commander Quinn?
Cassie! Oh no! This looks extra bad. What the... Oh my god, what the heck? Even before your eyes adjust to the minimal lighting of the bridge, you kneel down and reach out into the darkness, trying to find where Cassie has collapsed onto the deck. Okay, this is kind of bad. So it's... The overload was so bad that it knocked out, like, general power? Oh boy. Am I to be alarmed by that red dot on the map? Just out of curiosity, it's just that bright star, right? Or maybe it's Jupiter. Maybe we're very far away from Jupiter. I don't know what that is. We'll carry on, yeah? You search blindly for a few seconds until your hand meets her shoulder and you move towards her. Cassie! Hey! Cassie! Say something! Cassie! Ooh, she looks a little checked out. Hang in there, Cassie. Lieutenant Lord, call sickbay and get the doctor up here right now. I can't. Why not? The ship's entire system has been knocked offline. Even the emergency backup systems. It's all offline. We don't have time for this. Get it back online. You rise quickly and dash over to the elevator, slamming your hand into the call button. I'm going to take Cassie down to the sickbay. You can... Aside from your voice, the whole room remains totally silent. Ooh, that's creepy. Most conspicuously absent, though, is the whirring of the elevator that would take you directly to sickbay. You rapidly press the call button in frustration. Man, is the whole ship powered down? What's that going to mean for breathable air, you know? If the, like, environmental, like, life support's down, too. Oh, man, this is scary. Idiot! What part of offline do you not understand? Quinn's not going anywhere until at least the backup systems are online, but that can't be done from the bridge. What do you mean? How do we get them back online? It's an emergency failsafe. If there's a critical failure with the central computer and it can't function properly, then the entire ship will be shut down. Then it enters lockdown mode until it can be rebooted. All areas are sealed in case the shutdown is the result of enemy action. The main computer in engineering needs to be physically rebooted to restore any sort of access. Of course, since this is a security system, you should know all this. You grit your teeth to stop yourself snapping back at Vanessa. In the heat of the moment, all thought of process and procedure had left you completely. All you'd been thinking about was getting Cassie to sickbay. Placing your head in your hand, you pinch the bridge of your nose and try to focus. My nose, oh. That's right. But isn't the order to reboot the central computer given from the bridge in that situation? Why did you say we can't? 2 reasons. First of all, this lockdown shouldn't affect backup systems. But for some reason, everything seems like it's offline, which means there's no internal communication system right now. Secondly, even if we did have the internal communication system, access to the central computer requires input codes which are known only by the captain. Or, in the event the captain is incapacitated, the second in command. Vanessa turns to look at Cassandra, who shifts slightly. As she continues to talk, you head back to Cassie, kneeling beside her and placing her in the recovery position. What is on your side, like hand draped over. What is the recovery position? Feeling the cold steel of the floor as you turn Cassie over, you take off your uniform jacket and lay it over her. Which, currently, would be Lieutenant Commander Quinn. Meaning that right now, both the people who know the necessary information to get the ship back up and running are out of action. There's gotta be some way around all this. Weren't you listening? This isn't supposed to happen. We should at least have the backup systems in place. Without them, there's nothing we can do except sit around and wait for the air to run out. Oh my god, wow, it really is life support down. Wow. What about the O'Brien? Can you contact them for support? Oh my god, no, we can't. We can't do anything because their whole power is down. Everything is offline. What part of this are you not getting? As you kneel over Cassie, your mind races through what Vanessa has just told you. You know that she's right, and that all the ship's emergency action plans revolve around the backup systems being operational, and without them online, there's next to nothing that can be done within the ship. Ooh, I'm really hoping the Chief's got some kind of, trick up her sleeve to, get power back online, subvent power somehow, Your mind catches on that point for a moment, and you can't help but wonder whether whoever wrote that plan was optimistic enough that they couldn't see a situation where the backups failed. Or whether they were so pessimistic they felt if those systems were out of commission, there was no real hope for the crew either. Pushing that thought out of your head, you desperately try to figure out a way to get Cassie to the sickbay. That's still the number one priority instead of, returning power. Okay. There's got to be something you know about the ship that would help. In all your time you've spent working as a security officer, there's got to be something that you've picked up that would... That's it! In the crew quarters, the panels by the bunks can be removed and replaced. People use the space in the structure to hide contraband. What are you talking about? The ship's maintenance crawlways are accessed in the same way. If I'm right... I was actually thinking this, we gotta go air vent crawling like Alien. Seems like the obvious thing to do in this situation. They've talked about the alternate paths via the vents, so yeah. You head back over to the elevators, but this time, instead of trying to call them, you begin to run your hands over the seams in the wall panels on either side. Eventually, you notice a gap a few inches in length. Normally, maintenance would have a special tool to access this, but you can do the same thing with... I know I've got it on me somewhere. Where is it? Our access card. Taking your ID card out of your pocket, you slide it into the gap in the seam until it meets some resistance when it's about halfway in. You slide it up and down a few times until you feel it stick on something, at which point you push harder. Suddenly, you hear the sound of multiple catches disengaging, and the panel falls towards you. Taking the wall panel in both hands, you place it to the side of where it used to be attached. Now, instead of solid wall, you can just about make out an absence large enough for someone to fit inside, with a series of rungs heading downwards into a darkness which opens up once they pass by where the elevator currently sits. How did you know how to do this? This is one of the first tricks you learn as a security officer. Ship crews get very creative with where they stash things. With these panels, it makes sense that the maintenance crawlways are accessed in a similar way. Well, great. Now you can crawl around the walls in the dark. Very helpful. You grit your teeth and breathe. You hadn't talked to Vanessa much since you first met, but you were now beginning to understand why she always ate alone in the mess hall. Yeah, she's not the beacon of positivity, is she? No, well. If I can get up in here, it means that I can get out down to the central hub. From there, I can see if I can get the emergency input codes from the captain and make contact with the chief in engineering. Do you really think you can solve this by clambering around inside the walls? Even if you can make it to the central hub, the rest of the ship will... Lieutenant Lord, would you... Ooh. I think it's time for us to be a little out of protocol. We're a little bit high strung right now, right? Shut up already! Although the sudden outage of the ship's systems, as well as the failure of all the backups, was stressful enough, you'd felt on some level that you'd be able to handle it. It's just a mechanical failure, something the Chief was probably working on at this very moment. What you couldn't deal with was Vanessa's attitude. Yeah, we'll have to apologize for this later, but I think in this moment it was appropriate. You know, with Cassie in danger, like actual danger, you know, I think we would be a little bit snippy, so we'll go with this. I get it, alright? I get it. Everything's offline. Message received, loud and clear. But I'm not gonna sit around and do nothing but listen to you whine when everyone else on the ship is counting on me to do something. Not this time. Ooh. That's interesting, that final line there, that survivor's guilt coming in there. Yeah. Vanessa's mouth hangs open in shock as she tries to stammer out a response, but you quickly cut her off. Now I'm gonna leave you here and get this fixed. You can either sit there and wait for the air to run out, or get your head out of your ass and start helping. Vanessa continues to gape at you in disbelief, completely taken aback by your outburst. All right, you do that. I'll try to get the internal communication system working. Since the backup should work in a situation like this, maybe there's a way to get them back online. Get moving! Or are you going to stand around and gawk whilst I get everything done myself? You inadvertently sigh loudly as you turn around and reach out into the crawl space, grabbing a rung and then placing your foot on one lower down. Hopefully I can get things back online with the Chief and the Captain's help. Just look after Lieutenant Commander Quinn until then, alright? Vanessa turns away from you, continuing to adjust the inputs on the communications system. Yeah, sure. With that, you lower yourself into the darkness, taking it one rung at a time. Once you're past the station area of the elevator, you can feel the space you're in open up around you. Carrying on downwards, you reach behind you every so often to see if you can feel the catch system that would keep an access panel attached. After a few attempts to find it, your fingers eventually brush over a catch, and with some coercion, you manage to get it to release, causing the whole panel to fall off the wall behind you and clatter onto the floor of the central hub. As you step out of the crawlway, a loud banging starts from nearby. You immediately reorientate yourself to face the room, placing your hand on your electroshock weapon just in case. As you scan the room in the dim lighting, the banging continues, and you realize it's not coming from anywhere in the central hub, but one of the elevators. Someone's stuck in an elevator? Oh no! And with the air running out? That's really bad. With your hand still hovering over your weapon, you slowly move towards the noise, trying to make as little sound as possible, hoping that whoever or whatever is making it doesn't know you're there. Despite the darkness, you can see that the elevator doors are open slightly, with an inch or so gap between the two doors. As you angle yourself to try and see what's inside, your question is answered. Well, that's lucky. Whoever's inside there at least has air, extra air from the gap open. Hey! Who's out there? Whoever you are, help me get these stupid doors open! Whole thing's jammed! You pause for a moment. You haven't seen Hansen since the other day outside your quarters. I know you're out there! I heard you! Get over here and help me get these doors open! Hey! What are you waiting around for? As Hansen continues to call out, you size up the situation. With the darkness of the room, you could easily come and go without him being able to tell that it's you. On top of that, it's unlikely that he'd be able to force open the elevator doors on his own. Hey, come on! This isn't funny! Who's out there? Stop jerking me around! It's petty, but part of you almost relishes the idea of Hansen seeing how it feels to be trapped and unable to do anything. Haru! If you're messing with me, I'll kick your ass! Still, He's a member of the crew, and as a security officer, it's your role to keep them all safe, regardless of how much of a dick they might be. You take a deep breath and... Yeah, we gotta... obviously, this is a real bad situation. This isn't the time to be unprofessional, you know? Although I was with Vanessa for a minute there, but, you know, that's different. I can't let this, like, our petty grievances get in this bad of a sitch, you know? I get the pettiness, but in this case, we gotta put that aside. Hold it for a second before releasing one long, constant sigh. Hey! I heard you! I know you're there! Get me out! Alright, Ensign. I'll take the door on the right, you take the door on the left. On the count of 3, we pull. Great! Everyone on board as the Kalika Coward. Figured you'd stop by here, find a nice little space to crawl up and hide in. Helping me out so we could trade places and you can ride it out until the action's over. You immediately begin to regret your decision. Yeah, that's kind of insane that he's that dickish. My goodness. Cruis, do you want to get out of there or not? Whatever. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3. The two of you both heave against the elevator's doors, which shift slightly, but not enough for Hansen to get out. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3! This time, the doors yield a little more to your efforts. After they open a few more inches, you step back to catch your breath and watch as Hansen sticks his arm through the gap, but struggles to get any further than that. Once more, and we should be able to have you out of there. Shame your girlfriend isn't here. At least she's got a backbone she could be putting into this. Oh my god. You freeze for a moment as all of your muscles stiffen reflexively, and a wave of anger flows through you. Excuse me, Ensign? You heard me. She's the one of you two with any stones. If she hadn't been there to save you the other day, You'd have what? I'd have... Think hard about your answer, Ensign. Give me the wrong answer, and you can try and squeeze that thick skull of yours through that gap without any more of my help. Forget it. That's what I thought. Now get ready. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3! It takes the two of you a few attempts, but finally you manage to push the doors open to the point where Hansen can make his way through the gap between the two of them. Oops, didn't mean to hit that. Free of the elevator, Hansen dusts himself down and looks around whilst adjusting his jacket. So what the hell's going on? What's happened to the ship? Why has everything stopped working? There should be backups or something, right? You pause for a moment. Despite having been on the bridge when everything went wrong, you probably have as much of an idea as Hansen would. Honestly, we've got no idea. I was on the bridge when it all happened. We made contact with the O'Brien. There was this flash. Then Commander Quinn had been knocked out. All the systems were offline, even the backups. I managed to get off the bridge using the maintenance crawlway. Now we're trying to figure out a way to reboot the computer to get everything back online. Just great. I knew this ship was a piece of junk the moment I stepped on board. You said you guys had a plan to get things up and running, yeah? Yeah, kinda. Great, you can handle that. I'm gonna go check on the crew. Have you seen Haru? No, I haven't run into them. Okay then, I'll try the quarters. With that, Hansen heads into the darkness towards the Foresight thoroughfare. He stops briefly, turning to face you. Lieutenant? Thanks, whatever. The pilot quickly turns on his heels and disappears into the darkness. Don't mention it. Wow, okay, drama. Well, everybody, this is a really good moment to call it for today. We've done a couple hours, like I said I would, and we're deep in the mystery now. So, yeah. I would be happy to record a little bit more of this, so let me know. Like, maybe I'll just end up playing through this entire game. I never found out a way to contact the makers of this game, so I hope they are cool with their game being played like this, you know? Yeah. But I'm really, this is just really, really fun. This is such a labor of love, this game, and it's just showing all the time, like, what a delightful, like, throwback game this is, and, like, now that things are heating up, I'm loving it, so, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna find a way to reactivate the Gundog. Yeah, next time we will have a look-see. I might honestly try to go to the sick bay to have a quick look-see if I could get the doctor out and get him to look at Cassie, too. Something to consider as well. But like I said, I gotta call it for today. So, this has been delightful. Because of Easter, I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna be available next Monday to stream, so I can't make any promises, but I would like to return to this game at some point, so please be on the lookout in case another nice stream sesh coming your way. But whether you were watching this live today or you are popping in to watch the VOD, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure once again, and I hope you look forward to more fun streams in the future. But for now, this is Minsc signing off. Have a good day, everybody, and catch you later. Goodbye!